The Obama administration is releasing the latest enrollment figures for health care sign-ups as the end-of-the-month deadline approaches. Our Washington correspondent Megan Hughes is back, and she has the details. Megan?
Mark, 6 million Americans. That's the headline. That's how many people have signed up for plans. This is both on the federal and state exchanges. Now, that was the goal. That was the target that they were trying to meet by the end of the enrollment period, March 31st. That was set by the Congressional Budget Office. So the White House is announcing that it's been met a few days early here. This is, they consider, a win for them. President Obama, who's traveling in Italy, convened a call with healthcare navigators and volunteers today to share this news, to thank them for all of their hard work. The White House reports there has been a surge in the final days. Several days within the past week, the healthcare.gov website has gotten over 1 million hits. Now, one thing to point out about this number, Mark, the 6 million number, it was previously revised down from 7 million. That was after all of the glitches with the website. But nonetheless, the White House certainly considering this a win.
Megan, I have to ask you, because you have been covering this from the very beginning. There's no other way to talk about the rollout except it was a mess. So are the party poppers being set off at the White House today? Or are they being a little bit more cautious about this, not so celebratory given where they had to come from?
Well, I think this is a motivator, Mark. You know, the open enrollment is still open until March 31st. And the number alone, the fact that they met this 6 million goal, isn't the end of the story. One of the big things that we're going to be watching after open enrollment closes, how many of those are young and healthy? What does this mean for premiums next year? So it's definitely a more complicated picture than that number alone. And they know that.
But, Megan, we should also know, and I guess the White House knows it too, this isn't the end of the story, because there is still that push. You still hear it from some on the Republican side. They just want this repealed because they don't consider the Affordable Care Act to have been a legitimate law because it did not pass with bipartisan support.
And with any numbers, Mark, you know that Republicans are going to find a different way to slice it. One thing that we've been hearing from the Republican Party over the past several days, yes, this is the number that have signed up, but this isn't necessarily the number that have paid. They want to know who these people are that have picked a plan on the enrollment websites, whether or not they've paid, whether or not they were part of this pool of uninsured that were supposed to be moving onto the exchanges. So there are going to be a lot of ways to slice these numbers that you're going to see in the days ahead.